Welcome to the Jeremiah Show.
Thank you for having me.
It's so nice that we have two special guests today. It's so great. Tori Templet, Fran Posla, both here on the show. I'm so honored. I'm so happy to talk to both of you, such talented musicians, and thank you for coming on. So you just heard when we came in, that was Tori Templet's cover of Taylor Swift's Lover on the Voice Blind Auditions. So both Tori and Fran are on season 27 of NBC's The Voice, where country pop sensation Kelsea Ballerini joins an all-star coach lineup with reigning champion Michael Bublé, EGOT winner John Legend, and the return of an original The Voice icon, Adam Levine. With a competition hotter than ever, these coaches will find and mentor America's best undiscovered singers. And this spectacular new season, you can go to NBC.com, The Voice, to find out lots of good stuff on the coaches and the artists and about the show. So we've been featuring artists so far this year off season 27 who chose to work with Coach Adam Levine. So I thought now would be a good time to give you a little background on Adam Levine's incredible career as a musician himself. Like I said at the opening there, Adam is an original voice coach. He appeared in the first 16 seasons of the show, and now he makes his grand return to the red chair. For season 27, Adam is the frontman and primary songwriter of the multi-Grammy award-winning band Maroon 5. Maroon 5 has charted 32 records on the Billboard Hot 100 since their first release in 2002. 26 of those hit the top 50, 22 reached the top 25, 15 were top 10s, and 10 records have been top 5 hits. 3 records are U.S. Diamond certified, and 23 are U.S. Platinum certified. And if you're wondering, yes, there is a test after this. So I hope you're writing all this down. Maroon 5 holds the record for most number ones on the Hot 100 this century by a duo or group. Their discography features a succession of 7 multi-platinum studio albums that have resulted in $98 million in sales and going. 750 million singles worldwide, 3 Grammys and 13 Grammy nominations, and gold and platinum certifications in more than 35 countries. Adam Levine was the first artist on Spotify with 1 billion streams on a song as part of a group. And he also had 1 billion streams as a soloist. Adam Levine is Tori's coach. Adam Levine is Fran's coach. Now that I kind of give you that little background there, are you intimidated by at all by your coach? I am. Hi,
I
Tori.
Hi. Yeah, definitely. It's very intimidating. And I knew that going into it. I was like, whoa, this is the guy that I've been listening to on the radio my entire life. So yeah, going into the audition, I was definitely intimidated and nervous. But at the end of the day, like they're just normal people. Like they just have a lot of success, which
A
we're all
lot
trying
of
to get there. So
Yeah, a lot of talent, a lot of success, and congratulations on him being your coach.
yeah,
I didn't know all those. I've always loved Maroon 5 and I've loved Adam Levine. I think he's a great actor. One of my favorite movies is that movie that he's in. And I'm going to blank on the name of the movie. You probably know what I'm
begin
talking
again.
about. Begin
Begin.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that movie and the music in that movie.
Yeah.
So he's also a talented actor. So for the listener here, Tori Templet, she's on season 27 of The Voice. In Tori's blind auditions, Adam Levine and Michael Bublé turned their chairs for Tori. Tori chose Adam Levine as her coach, and she's a musician with over 8 million streams herself on Spotify and over 140,000 followers on TikTok. Wow. She released her debut EP in 2020, and that title is Seasons. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. I welcome Tori officially. what are
Thank
the
you.
some of the unique ways that you have found through music to express yourself
Yeah.
or
Um,
creatively, like in your life? What are some of the ways that you express yourself?
Yeah, I think up until now, music has always been the way that I decompress from my everyday life. Up until the show, music was always just a hobby for me and was, like I said, a way to just escape from like the 9 to 5 or school or whatever I had going
Hmm.
on. And so it was really a huge outlet for me to dive into to express myself and to write my own lyrics and share my own stories and just about what was going on in my life. And so it was the ultimate outlet for me to be able to do that. And yeah, it's just so special to be able to share stories that you feel like really only resemble you, but at the end of the day, people start reaching out to you and you release a single and they're like, wait, that's exactly what's going on in my life. And I think I'm getting to a point where I'm realizing that my music is people are resonating with it and that the words that I'm writing matter. And as much as it is a way for me to express myself, it's a way to connect with other people too. And that's really special.
Is that important to you?
It is. It wasn't at the beginning when I started writing songs. I really just needed a way to like let things out. But I've found it to be such a cool way to connect with others and learn other people's stories and what's going on in their life. And um, yeah, I'm such an empathetic person, so I love to hear that from people.
Hmm. It's that is one of the best things about music, I think, that when someone connects with a song, if I connect with a song and it explains what I'm feeling better than I ever could, and then I don't have to explain it. I just understand it better.
Yeah.
So what a gift that you have there. I know you're very creative in a lot of different aspects of your life. What's something that your fans that you do that's creative, maybe even personal that you haven't shared before, but something that's really aside from music, something that um, that you do all your own, that you do well, and that helps you express yourself in other ways besides lyrics, besides music, with something artistically or creatively.
That's tough because music is like my whole my whole life. Now, especially, I mean, I grew up in sports a lot. I was a competitive cheerleader and a diver, and I did that up until I was 18. And then I was supposed to cheer in college, and I ended up not cheering, and I ended up quitting to pursue music instead. And I just didn't have a hold on sports as much as I did back in the day. And yeah, I feel the like I said, music is like the whole thing for me right, especially right now, being on the show and getting the exposure, and it really gives you a boost of confidence and just like pedal to the metal, pursuing
Yeah.
what I'm excited about.
Must be
But
very validating to your
yes,
vision.
so validating and just yeah, like I said, a big confidence boost and just really helps me feel like I am capable. That was kind of the whole reason I went on the show because I was like, okay, I'm either gonna keep doing this 9 to 5 job thing with my degree that I got, or maybe music is still something that I'm passionate about and still excited about. And having Adam and Michael turn for me was a big check mark there and made me feel very capable of pursuing this. And here I am. I don't have a job, like I don't have a 9 to 5 anymore, and I'm doing the music thing full time. So
Well, when I listen to your lyrics and when from what I've read about you, um, I really was kind of sort of struck with the idea of you being such a creative person that your mind must be full of ideas and visions and I, I just felt from what I little I know of you that could be a possibility of and a part of who you are. And so my next thought was, to continue on this creative line of questioning. My next thought for you was, what does that world look like? Like what do you want to create for your world? Is there a vision that you can see for yourself? And that could be obviously it's music, but that could also be, people around you. What type of people do you want to surround yourself? Where do you want to live? What do you want to wake up and see every day? What is that vision that you have? Do you have that?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's changing every single day. It's, the 20 somethings. You're like, I have no idea what I want to do with my life. And I don't know what I'm eating for breakfast tomorrow, but we're just going to keep going day by day. But I think, I'm slowly realizing that I am a writer first. Whether that's with songs or like I was a journalism major and an English minor in college. And so I really learned how to write in school and I have a passion for it. I love writing songs, but I also love just writing articles. I love writing poems. Any sort of outlet where I can write, I love it. My notes app is on my phone is chaos. And so I think for the future, I mean, my ultimate dream is to just be a songwriter. I want to be like the next Amy Allen. I mean, she's worked with the greatest pop singers and pop artists that are around right now, and she has her own music career as well. But at the end of the day, like she's a songwriter, and that is exactly what I want to do. And when it comes to kind of what I want to be surrounded by, it's really, I mean, I'm in such a good spot right now, especially with the show. You are constantly surrounded by just encouragement of the people that are the contestants on the show, the crew that is helping you get from one place to another, and the coaches. That whole experience has made me like I mentioned earlier, like it really makes me feel capable that I can do this and that I have the talent to be able to pursue it. And so yeah, I'm definitely very, very, very creative driven, and it's not just in music; it's just in my life and yeah, my choices every day. I'm like, whether it's what I'm wearing or where I'm going for to get a coffee, like the aesthetic has to be right and everything has to be cool, and so. Definitely, definitely a creative world I live in, and the people that I am surrounded by are as well, which is awesome and helps me continue in my career.
How much of the creativity comes from a conscious decision or effort, like choosing your clothing and choosing how you present yourself to those
Mhm.
around you? How much of it is unconscious that comes to you, the writing, you know, the path that you're taking, that you
Yeah.
took to get to the voice, to become a musician? I mean, that's a very, very brave.
Yeah.
But how much of it is it a discipline for you? Do you have to sit down and go, okay, I'm going to write, or do you let it
Mhm.
come more f freely?
Yeah, I think there are some things that are obviously conscious decisions with what I'm wearing and the just like the day-to-day kind of life that I'm living. But when it comes to writing, it is such an un like a subconscious thing that just spurs from itself. I'll be laying in bed like last night. It was like 1 a.m. and I could not sleep, and I had this one line in my head of a song, and so I sat up and grabbed my guitar and then wrote like a verse and a chorus, and then I was able to go to sleep. Like, of course, I had to do that in order to be able to finally fall asleep later. But yeah, when it comes to my writing and music in general, it's always from a a subconscious place in my mind that I didn't know existed until it just spurs itself in my notes app or on my in my like my journal or something.
Mhm. What, being awake and writing that lyric down, I'm not going to ask you to talk about the subject, but unless you want to.
No.
But what's inspired you lately? Like you know, in your life, what has inspired you lately in terms of songwriting? Has there been
Yeah.
something recently?
Yeah, I'm in a very, very formative year. I turned 25 last November, and from since then, with the show airing and with I released my first single in 4 years in at the end of February. I quit my job and pursuing music full time. I mean, I'm in just such a crazy like I threw myself into the deep end with this. I really was just like it was an all or nothing kind of thing that I felt in my bones. And yeah, I it's really the music that I'm writing just stems from being a 20 something trying to navigate life as a young adult and really getting to the point where you're like, oh, okay, like I'm on my own now and I have to figure this stuff out for myself, whether it is doing my taxes or like paying for gas or figuring out where I'm gonna live next. Just like all of the future is so wide and open and it can be very like anxiety inducing, but it's also really exciting. And whether I'm writing about my family or my future or a boy or whatever, that is where my lyrics are coming from right now, from my heart and just um yeah, the chaos that is being 25.
20, yeah. The 20s are mine, mine those years, get everything you can out of them
Yes.
lyrically, because they are really probably the most complicated and the most you're all over the place, you've got to make decisions. I
Yeah.
remember that anxiety of, it smooths out after 30 and, it smooths out, but there's a lot of material there. And
Yeah.
don't you think there's no other way than to jump in the deep end, to go all in if you're really gonna do something.
Yeah.
Um, so I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
When I was a kid, we believed that we could only choose one thing to do for the rest of our lives. I mean, I even thought that way up until maybe 10 years ago. I thought you do this, you pick your career or it picks you, but you do that. And that's all you ever do. But I love how in the last, and I think it happened a lot with COVID, where people are just like, I don't have to be one thing
Yeah.
in my lifespan. It's a long life, but it's a short life. Like you can explore so many different things. So I like that now that that people in your age group are going. I'm going to do this, but I also want to do other things.
Mhm.
What do you want to do aside? What do you want to explore besides music?
That's a big question. Um,
I
I
know it'll come to you as
so
you go along, but is there?
yeah, I have so many passions and it changes every single day. But I love the music industry as a whole. And like I said, I want to be a songwriter so bad. But my ultimate goal, I think, and the show really helped me realize this as well, is that as much as I want to further my own music career, I want to help other people further their own music careers. We all just have this like huge passion that is bubbling inside of us, and especially for the independent artists and for the people that are just starting out and don't really know how to navigate and need exposure or just need guidance or help or anything like that. Like that's where my heart is for the people that are passionate and don't really have the tools to be able to do that, because I was there at one point. And I mean, I still am. I still have no idea what I'm doing, but I have kind of a grasp on where I'm going and how to do this, I think. And so yeah, at the end of the day, I just want to be able to help people flourish in their own music careers and um, hopefully make some sort of way in mine as well. Yeah.
You said something that I thought was really interesting, that in school you confided in music. You found music as an escape from the reality of the mundane.
Yeah.
We spend what? We spend a quarter of our lives or more in school.
Mhm.
In your opinion, so I'm interested in your opinion on this. What could we do better as a society to make school more engaging, or leave with a support system for our lives so it's not so mundane? Did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah,
On how the school system could, prepare you for music better, or business, or life, or filling up your
yeah.
gas tank?
I definitely think that we are getting there, especially towards the end of college. Like I realized how much real life experience I was getting, whether it was an internship or just like going to my professor's like office hours, things like that. Um, I think we don't have as many conversations as we should about what the real world really entails when you get out of school. Especially now, I mean, this is kind of going off the away from the topic of music, but it's just hard to get a job out of college if you don't have the right resources. And I was there too. I was unemployed for a solid 6 months before I could get a job. And it's like, okay, well, I have this degree. What am I supposed to do with it? And unfortunately, at that time, I was in like a huge rut musically. I wasn't writing. I was just frustrated with like where the cards fell for me with everything. But yeah, I think there is a place for just more conversation about what's to come with the future and how you can better prepare yourself after college or after high school or wherever the future is going to lead you. Yeah, but I definitely think that we're getting there. I feel like there's a lot more classes that entail with real world experiences and stuff like that.
Is that why you created Listen Small?
Oh, I created Listen Small just for what I was talking about earlier was because of I just want to be able to give smaller artists a platform,
Hmm.
whether they are creative in photography or a screenwriter or just anybody that is wanting to be in the creative industry. I wanted to be able to give them a platform to tell their story. I know so many people in my life that um, like I used to just do music on the side. I was in brand marketing for a sandwich brand, and I did that for so long, and music was just kind of something that I did on the side. And I have a friend that is an incredible guitar player, and he works for a construction company during the day, and then he goes and plays gigs. I'm like, you guys have all of this talent, and you like aren't utilizing it to the best of your ability. And so I want to hear their stories as to why
Hmm.
they aren't like me. I jumped into the deep end. I'm like, well, what's holding you back? And hearing those stories and is inspiring for me and is hopefully inspiring for other people that are kind of questioning whether or not they should step into the creative industry with
Yeah.
both. So,
Yeah, I like that. I read about Aaron, Olivia, Paige, Ava, and you can read more at toritemplet.com. Listen small. Okay, so I've just got a couple more questions. We need to take a commercial break, and we're going to play your new single. One question that I had was, when researching you and your life and your background, you said you are searching for areas in your life where you can breathe life into the unspoken. What did you mean by that?
I that goes along with whether it's me writing a song or telling people stories on Listen Small or just there are so many ideas in my brain and I want to be able to fulfill them in some way, shape, or form, whether that's helping other people pursue their dreams or pursuing my own. And so I think that also uh plays into just my career outside of music with my previous endeavors in brand marketing. I loved to come up with concepts and see them go from beginning to end and how they fleshed out. And that's kind of what I mean, breathing life into
Hmm.
the unspoken, just like fulfilling the ideas and the dreams and the passions that people have and letting them live, letting them be in the world.
Well, speaking of fulfilling your dreams, why did you choose Adam Levine? Is there a story before, what was he, what did he mean to you, his music? Is there a story before you met Adam? And you seemed pretty sure that he was your coach when you
Yeah.
chose him.
I think there's not necessarily a story, but he was just a consistent artist that I listened to growing up. And Maroon 5 was always in the pop scene when I was growing up in the 2000s. And so I always had looked up to them as a group. And Adam Levine vocally is very, very impressive. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about that very often, but vocally he is so gifted, so talented. And so going into my audition, I had that on the at the forefront of my mind. And although Michael said the most kind things ever to me, like I everybody on this show agrees that he's just the kindest human being ever and is just always going to be in your corner and is going to be a fan of you. And he just kept reassuring me that no matter what, whether I picked him or not, that he was going to be in my corner and was going to be rooting for me. And I loved that. And the difference with what Adam said was, and this is how I've explained it in the past, is that Adam has um he just from the jump knew exactly kind of what genre I was veering towards. He mentioned
Mhm.
Matthew Starr and the Cranberries, a lot of
Yeah.
artists that I listened to growing up and that I kind of veer towards vocally in my inspiration. And I just felt like he automatically knew where my heart was. And on top of that, he already had made a correction for me while I'm standing up there, and I haven't even picked him as a coach yet. And he was already coaching me and telling me something that I could do better. And something about me is that I love constructive criticism, especially when it comes to music, because I am self-taught in everything in music. I taught myself how to play guitar, how to play piano, how to sing. I didn't have vocal lessons ever up until the show. And so that's what I wanted going into this was a coach that really wanted to help me become a better singer and a better vocalist. And for him to make a correction already and to tell me what I could do to fix I like didn't hit a specific note in the chorus. And I was like, you know what? It stings a little bit, but it's going to make me better in the long run and that is what I need. And I knew that from the jump he was going to be real with me and he was going to be honest with how I sounded and wasn't as much as he was so supportive of me, he was still going to, at the end of the day, be a coach. And that's what I wanted. And so that's why I picked him.
Good reasons, all good reasons. And I caught that when he gave you a little tip, and I thought first I thought well, that must be almost shattering, but then I thought that's what he's there for, and that's why you're there.
Yeah,
Has he
absolutely.
taught you anything right now that you're going to take forever with you into the future?
Yeah, I during battles, because the stage that is the voice, especially for blind auditions, you're waiting forever to just like finally audition and the nerves just pile up and up and
Yeah.
up and up. And although you're singing and it's about like a 70-person audience, I mean, those four coaches make it so nerve-wracking. Just because you can't see them. They're sitting behind the chairs and you have no idea what their reaction is to you. It's a really nerve-wracking experience, and I had never been that nervous ever in my life. And so when we were in rehearsal for battles, I asked him, I was like, okay, how am I supposed to really like calm these nerves? Because I think part of the reason why I didn't hit that note in my blind audition was because I was so nervous. And so I really wanted to focus in on kind of collecting myself and figuring out how to ground myself while I'm singing. And he really helped me kind of center myself around the song and the lyrics and just the purpose of what I'm doing and not necessarily the atmosphere and how that's always going to be something that's a little jarring. But just being in the moment and reminding yourself that you have the talent and that you are able and that the fact that you're here is huge. So just grounding yourself in the song is really important. And that is something that I will take forever. He was so encouraging with me and um, just my future. And so that made me feel awesome.
Hmm. Good. He lives up to his reputation and his name.
He does, yes.
Fran, do you have any questions for Tori? Have you ever had a burning question that you were afraid to ask at the Voice, but you have an opportunity now? When you both saw each other, when you both came on together, you were so happy to see each other. There must be a relationship there.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to ask Tori anything. I can text her at any. And also, she's so approachable. That's one of the reasons I gravitated her to her on the show and was very happy to see that she was also on Team Adam. Um, yeah, no, I will text you if anything comes up, but I'm very inspired by that whole thing. I almost shed a tear at one point because I was just realizing halfway point, like, oh, this is what a beautiful person. I want to write with her. Like, you know what I mean? Um, but no, I think it's really scary to do it full time and just throw yourself into something with full faith that your passion means something
Yeah.
this earth. So I look up to you a lot.
Thanks. Fran, for reference, like Fran and I have had so many conversations about that, like about really jumping into pursuing music full time and how scary it is. And I mean, we were from the jump really, really close. Like we have videos from day one of getting to LA and being at the hotel, and her and I just connected automatically. So it's so fun that we were on the same team. And we were on different days. So I texted her afterwards and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on Team Adam too. Um, but yeah, it's special to be able to do this interview with her because her and I are so close already. So it's so awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome. It's a great talking to you. We're going to take a real quick break, but we're going to listen to Tori's "Heart's a Liar." It's her latest single. Beautiful, beautiful song, all the way through from beginning to end. Before we do that, though, and you set that up for us, Tori, go to Listen Small, ToriTemplet.com. Listen Small. It's where creatives receive the recognition they deserve. And if you want to be featured on Listen Small, submit your form at, again, ToriTemplet.com, Listen Small. I also want to share Tori's social media accounts real quick here with you. Tori's Instagram, Tori.Templet. It's spelled Templet. TikTok at Tori Templet. Her website again is ToriTemplet.com. You can find merchandise and tour dates and photos and music and all these great things there. And of course, Listen Small.
Which, by the way,
Okay.
if I can add a
Yep.
tiny thing. Tori
Sure.
posts her outfits of the day on her story every day, and if
Great.
you're looking for inspo, you gotta keep up with that.
I'll definitely check it out. Anything I can wear?
Honestly, maybe. I mean, like, yeah, I know the line. I'm gender neutral with my outfits most.
Tori, tell us about Heart's a Liar, or set it up for us. If you don't want to explain the song, just set it up for the listener here and your
Yeah,
fans.
absolutely. No, Heart's a Liar is my first single out after 4 years of taking a hiatus from music, and it's my re-entry into the music industry, and yeah, I'm starting out with a bang, so I hope you like it.
All right, enjoy. And we will be right back with Fran Posla. Tori, I hope you're going to hang out through Fran's interview. And if you've got any burning questions for her, I'd love to hear those. But here it is, Heart's a Liar. We'll be right back.